Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
It's so nice to have back on platinum-selling singer, songwriter, and an incredible guitarist, Orianthi. Ori, thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Doing great. You know, I love this new album, Rock Candy. And going through the tracks, it's like, you know, you've got a lot of different songs in here to where you've got some that are kind of ballad, obviously some that are rocking. And, you know, you're kind of covering a lot of ground. And it seems like your voice keeps getting stronger on this album, too.
Thank you so much. We made this record in 14 days, me and my friend Jacob Bunton. I know it was a challenge going in and him saying, let's make a record in 14 days. Let's write a song a day and record it by the end of the day. So we did that and we got it done. And look, it was fun to do. And especially when you make a record with a friend, you know, it's a lot of fun and just like geeking out guitars and sounds and whatnot. And yeah, it was just a really easy process.
Well, you know, and it's not a bad deal either, Orianthi, to where Jacob, obviously an award-winning producer and songwriter himself, and then he's playing a lot of the instruments, backing you up, and then you've got Kyle on drums, and I like it that you turned Kyle loose on a few of these songs also.
So much energy, you know, and we kind of experimented with sounds and different things with this record, but I think it's a bit of everything, and that's kind of why it's called Rock Candy. We didn't cover the Sammy Hagar Country song. A lot of people love that track. It's awesome. But Rock Candy kind of sums up the record. I don't know if you would agree. It kind of is a lot of rock and there's a lot of pop going on, flavors and whatnot. And yeah, it was, as I said, just a really fun experience, really fast. Probably, I guess, the fastest record I've made, like 14 days. I was a little nervous because I'm like, usually it takes like a year or half a year and then you kind of mix it to death and then you kind of think about it more and then you change it. But this was kind of like get it done, put it out, and it was in the present moment too. So lyrics were like written on the spot about like what I was going through at the time. So it was very personal, honest, and just he wanted to add a bit of edge. And Jacob's so great with all those different sounds that he adds because he does a lot of movie soundtracks. Right. So he really accompanied, you know, what the lyrics sort of meant musically too, with different, you know, sense and what.
Because it sounds to me on this album particularly, you know, compared to O, which obviously got a lot of attention that you came out with in 2020. But I like the way you book in this, where you've got Illuminate opening part 1, and then you've got Illuminate part 2, kind of wrapping it all up. Just some great guitar work.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to do that because, you know, I hadn't done that before, opening a record instrumentally and ending it. And yeah, adding that to the live show as well, we're going to kind of do that. And we're starting to play shows next year. It's been a minute I've actually toured. So we start, I think, at the Canyon Club out here in LA on the 28th of January. So you can get tickets now, and then San Diego, Nashville will be up soon on my website, and Chicago we're playing, the Arcada Theater. It's wild. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait. It's been so long since I've kind of done a solo, you know, tour. I've been with Alice Cooper or different acts and whatnot. Right. So yeah, then the pandemic. So yeah.
Well, and it seems like you've become more popular, you know, than ever, you know, since last time we caught up, particularly like we were talking about with your album that came out. Once again, a great solo effort and focusing more, you know, on your singing also, Orianthi, to where, you know, you've been so well known for your guitar playing. But I love the guitar tone that you got, the fuzz sound in Burning on the new album.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You know, I'm a big fan of just trying different things and different sounds and making the guitar kind of sound like a cat and different, I don't know, it's kind of wild because there's endless possibilities with a guitar. That's what I love about it, right? So, and then mixing it with different program like beats and whatnot. Being just a big fan of all different genres of music. I guess like when people hear records like that, you know, like songs like that, I feel like kind of sounds like really different and unexpected, but that's kind of what I want. I don't want to make the same record over and over again because I get bored myself. So I'm experimenting. So the next record I'm working on now is different too, and it's going to be fun.
Well, and that's what I was interested with this album with Rock Candy, is to where, you know, once again, it's kind of like your phone on shuffle on Spotify, to where it's like going, you've got some ballad in there, you got some rock, you got some pop, you kind of, you know, you've got a lot of different songs, but also it seems the lyrics, you know, like you said, are you know, self-inspired. You know, it seems like, you know, you're really in the moment with these lyrics for the songs.
Absolutely. Going through a lot like the past year, and I put it all in the songs, and it's very honest. Kind of scary sometimes when you write songs that are that honest. It's like a diary entry. You just put it out to the world with, or like accompaniment. So then you go, all right, okay, but when you're really honest, I think that it helps other people. Like if you hold back, and I don't know, and sometimes I make it sort of cryptic with lyrics and whatnot, but pretty much with Rock Candy, yeah, like Richard Heartfield, all those songs, like they're in the moment, and they were written really fast too. So yeah, like in an hour or like 20 minutes, something like that. So
you wouldn't know it from the depth of the lyrics, though, because it does feel like you're kind of putting your heart on your sleeve. And I was going to bring up, you mentioned Nashville, to where, you've been working with Gibson on your signature acoustic model, which is there to your left. And it's like, it's fun seeing you on social media with that, with working with Gibson. And then you've been a Paul Reed Smith player for a number of years with their electric guitars also.
yes, I've got my guitars here. This is not my signature. My signature is somewhere in a case because I was using it. I was actually out in Palm Springs with this benefit, took it out there. But this is my gold PRS. I use a lot. I name them all. This is Randy. I use it on most of my records, and yeah, they're beautiful guitars. I love them. They're very easy to sort of play and express yourself with them. And Gibson, blown away that they followed me down the rabbit hole to create the J200 signature, which is really cool. It's red. It's not this one, but this is cool too.
Yeah.
It's just standard, but yeah, I love both guitars, and the Gibson Garage is amazing. So if you're in Nashville, go check it out.
Well, like you and I were talking too, when your signature model came out and I got to play one, and I thought, what an incredible guitar to wear, with the jumbo style body, but also with a smaller neck that was easier to navigate, because sometimes those models, the necks are pretty big and beefy, kind of hard to navigate for all of us.
Yeah, that's why it's 345 neck on the J200 body. And a lot of people are like, why did you choose the J200? It's so big. I'm like, because of Elvis, Johnny Cash. I know. It's massive. It's great. I'm a huge Elvis fan. I didn't want to leave Graceland. I think I bought most of the stuff in the souvenir store. Like it was so cool going out there. And, when I went to the factory in Montana and checked out all the different bodies and the shapes and everything, I was just like, well, the sound of a J200, it's kind of like a grand piano. It just fills a room.
Right.
And I really wanted something like that. And it turned out really cool. And the playability, as you said, it's really easy to play.
Yeah, because you come from a player standpoint, and especially being an electric player, at 15 years old, started writing your songs, and you've got a great history, playing on stage with Steve Vai, and obviously Santana, toured with Dave Stewart, Alice Cooper, you were going to do the show with Michael Jackson, but it's like, your career has had a resurgence. And we were talking about this last time you were on the show, because, now all the kids have discovered you on TikTok.
Yeah, it was strange. My song, like the first single I put out, according to you, went viral. It had like 140 million hits or something. Like, I don't even know. Some boxer's daughter like put it up as a angry post towards her father. And it was like, everyone, I don't even know. And then everyone started like covering it. It was bizarre, but hey, it's all great. I don't even know how to work the thing, TikTok. I put up random videos here and there, but I thought it was like teenagers like dancing. And
well, it was so funny because I mentioned to my daughter, having you on the show, and she's like going, "Oh yeah, I know the song." It's like, because she's always on TikTok, and it's like, well, there's your new audience,
Right. It's really wild these days how social media kind of is, how things sort of take off and people sort of repost, and I don't know, I'm sort of getting used to it, but it's weird. I post photos of my cat, guitars, food, weird stuff. Yeah.
That's what I always like about your social media, though, because being a guitar nut myself, it's either you with a guitar or your cat with it. It's like it's always organic and fun. You can tell it's just you being you.
Yeah, it's weird. You can expect like a variety show when you go on Instagram. The aesthetic of it is not like professional by any means.
Yeah, but I think that's great, though. I think that's what makes it interesting, because you're showing a side of yourself to your fans. And obviously, you have worldwide fans, and with your music and everything, and how everybody's gravitating towards it. What a great time to come out, with Rock Candy, with an album like this. I got to ask you, though, you said you're working on a new album. So you're already planning on putting a new one out next year?
Of course, yeah. I mean, we started this one a bit ago, but you know, I've been back and forth, like just finishing up the mixes and adding songs to it. There's a lot of collabs on the new record too. Very exciting. Some really cool guests on it.
Wow.
And yeah, it's kind of more like sort of blues rock kind of thing, but also experimental, so a bit alternative. And that's going to be out next year for sure. And I'm in the studio a lot right now, like working on a few kind of songs I'm going to add to it, and then mixing it and putting it in a really good place. But I'm very excited about that one. So yes.
Well, and in between touring for this album.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait to get out there with my band. There's such great players, and we have so much fun. And we're just, you know, putting together a whole show and a whole tour and everything. It's just really exciting. And I just can't wait to get out there. You know, it's been a minute, and being in the studio is fun. I love it, but there's nothing like playing live. There really isn't. And for me, it's like I've been performing since I was like 6 years old at school assemblies. So I kind of need that. So, outlet. It's good. And it's inspiring too when, you know, you play shows and with the band, you kind of take people on a journey. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, and your playing is so diverse, and obviously, you know, your vocals and everything have continued to sound amazing, particularly on this new album. But I think it's going to be a challenge for you, Orianthi, to where how are you going to pick which songs? Because now you've got, you know, hit songs from your older catalog, you've got the songs from O, now you've got Rock Candy. You know, which songs do you play for these shows? Is it going to be a different show every night?
I think I might ask people what they want to hear. You know, I think that's a good thing because, and I'm also going to add a few covers too of stuff as well, like, and people I've collaborated with. We haven't done that much. So yeah, it's going to be a totally different set list than before. Asking, you know, my followers, my fans, like which songs I want to hear is really important to me because I can pick them, but like my mood changes every day. So but you know, depending on what people want to like hear from the past, like as you say, catalog, first records I've made,
right,
all that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, and it seems like you're in a very prolific time, and am I assuming that with Rock Candy too, you're going to have some cool new merch to go with the album?
Yes, I'm putting that together right now. New website's finally up. Somebody hacked it for like 8 years, so we had this skull and crossbones with burning. It was really weird. People thought I was like some devil worshiper. I was like, no. And I couldn't get rid of it. I couldn't like page. So finally we got it happening as of yesterday after ASU on there. Yeah, it was really bizarre. So merch is coming. There's going to be VIP, like exclusive access content, with, you know, lessons and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff putting up. It's gonna be,
well, I'll tell you what, we can't wait to see you here in Nashville, and I know you're going to be touring. I'm sure this is going to be a world tour this next year for you, since you're getting out of the studio and getting to share these great songs. I want to make sure for our viewers, you know, the best place to go for your website, for social media, for everything you're doing, and with the updated website now.
Yes. Yeah.
Where should they go?
Well, you can go to like it's I am Orianthi on Instagram, and then orianthi.me, which is my new, you know, web page, and then there's Facebook as well for the blue like tick, because apparently there's a lot of crazy people that I don't know why pretend to be many other people to pretend to be, but you know, they write crazy stuff. So
oh my goodness.
Yeah, look for the approval mark there.
Definitely. So we know it's you. Well, I'll tell you what, I always enjoy following you on social media and seeing, you know, your guitar shots and your cat pictures, and just as you're in the studio and out and about playing shows. But what a great album. I want to make sure our viewers, you know, add it to your playlist, you know, get the CD or vinyl, however you consume music. But this is a great album. I think the best one you put out to date. And Orianthi, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.